You are listening to WDW Escape, brought to you by WDW Magazine. This week we take a trip in a magical express of the mind as we imagine those two little words, next time. You love Walt Disney World, I love Walt Disney World. This much we all know for certain. Through good times and bad, we are all perpetual passengers on the real Magical Express, the wonderful, invisible force that brings us back time and time again, like Moana to the ocean. No matter how long we may have to wait and how much planning we do, there is always that moment when we say those magical words, "You know what we should do next time?" Next time. Those two little words that bring us back as surely as the more earthly Magical Express, the diesel-powered one that brings us from the airport and later, tragically, back again. Do you ever stop to wonder how this came to be? Do you even remember? For many of our readers and listeners, the answer is no. These are the folks whose love for Disney World was cemented when they were very young. They were born to it, and it is their destiny to ride the Magical Express. Some of us choose this fate as adults. We planned our way into a world full of mouse ears. We've talked a lot about planning this month, starting with the January issue of WDW Magazine, which is themed around planning the best trip ever. We've all planned that trip, most of us many times, and it never stops being fun. But I remember the very first next time, and I think about it every day. Here in my little corner of the extremely virtual, socially distanced, and yet mighty world headquarters of WDW Magazine, there is a wall that is covered in desperately outdated park maps. There's no Galaxy's Edge or Toy Story Land, but there are Streets of America. There's no Pandora in this animal kingdom, but Epcot still sports an Ellen's Energy adventure, and the 50th anniversary later this year should finally render the Magic Kingdom map deeply irrelevant. So why are they there? These are my very first park maps from when the kids were tiny. The maps that I studied endlessly as I planned our first Disney adventure. Our one-time only better get this right because we'll probably only do it once extravaganza. We had never taken them on a big trip before, and I was determined that this was going to be as special as everyone always said a Walt Disney World adventure was. In the weeks before we left, I studied those park maps until I could get from any point to any other point in any of the parks, without ever being confused, asking for directions, or worst of all, slowing down. It was like one of those prison escape movies where each footstep has been counted, and I received no shortage of genuinely expert advice. Main Street runs under the Castle Hub, but hang a left at Casey's and take the bridge to Adventureland. You'll be at Jungle Cruise in time for your Fast Pass. Main Street, Casey's, bridge. Got it. Got it. Of course, by the time Disney and my family had their way with my plan, we had climbed the Swiss Family treehouse, rode the magic carpets of Aladdin twice, had Dole Whip for second breakfast, and visited the Tiki Room, all before setting foot on the Jungle Cruise. But I was comfortable in my delusion that it was my plan that made it magical. Sooner or later, though, the best-laid plans go wrong. Sooner or later you wind up, say, in Frontierland on the wrong side of the electrical parade, with thousands of people between you and a Wishes viewing area Fast Pass? "Excuse me," I said to the first cast member I saw, "how do I get to the Wishes viewing area?" I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said it in a voice like the world's friendliest carnival barker, and he parted the crowd like the Red Sea. "Get to her," he pointed. "She'll get you the next step." And she did. Each cast member worked their magic and got us to the next cast member in seconds, like they did it every day, which I suppose they did. In minutes we were halfway across the park, ready for our first ever best fireworks ever, but not the last. And was that the moment when I stepped on the Magical Express? When I became Disney for life? No, it didn't take that long at all. It was the minute we stepped off of the actual Magical Express at Disney's Art of Animation Resort. Tired, a little stressed out from a day of travel, further from home than my kids had ever been, with the weight of expectation hanging heavily over us for our one-time only better get this right because we'll probably only do it once extravaganza. If anything were going to go wrong, this would be the worst of times for it to happen. We stepped from the bus, bedraggled and anxious, the air still thick from the rain that had just ended. Everyone else seemed to know what to do next, but not us. "Mr. Taylor?" a warm voice asked from nowhere, as if the answer was never in any doubt. "Yes?" I asked, stunned and mildly concerned. Half the bus had just disembarked. How did he know which ones we were? "I don't know. I've never known." It was just magic. It was exactly what I needed, exactly when I needed it, without ever knowing that I did. It was Disney. "Let's get you checked in," he said with a smile and a check on his clipboard. "Come with me. We'll take care of everything." I have never been as profoundly glad to see someone in all my life, and I wasn't the only one. My wife leaned into me and whispered as we stepped in the resort. "You know what we should do next time?" she asked. Next time. We were 11 seconds off the bus to begin our one-time only better get this right because we'll probably only do it once extravaganza, and we were talking about next time. We had stepped off of one magical express and onto another. We were Disney World for life. Because you can plan all you want, and it will help. But there are other people who are also planning, also working hard and trying their best, all to make sure that your Disney World adventure is as magical as it was in your dreams. And you can plan on that, my friends. You can plan on that. This has been WDW Escape, brought to you by WDW Magazine. If you enjoy these programs, please consider leaving a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed this, you're sure to love the all-new content at WDW Magazine, available in print or digital editions. Visit wdw-magazine.com and escape with us today.